Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so Skip, Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How you doing?
What a Sunday I had. Tom Brady and Kyler Murray and 4 more cases of Diet Mountain Dew. And how about them Cowboys?
Man. Matthew Stafford let me down. He owed me 4 cases.
He's off. That didn't look like an MVP performance.
Nah, man,
right?
he let me down, Skip. He let me down. But that's all right. He'll make it back up. He'll make it back up.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, wow.
Not really.
Skip, you did have a good Sunday. I wasn't thinking about every single guy that did their job, including your guy, your favorite guy, Tom Brady. He made his much-anticipated return to Foxborough last night, and the 7-time champ got the last laugh over Bill Belichick as the Bucs escaped with a 19-17 win. Rainy conditions slowed down both offenses much of the night, and the Patriots missed a 56-yard field goal to take the lead with less than a minute to go. So, Shannon, this game, it was so special to watch. What is the biggest reason the Bucs won?
Well, I think, Skip, I'm going to have to start looking at the weather forecast because I did not pay attention to the weather forecast. So, especially in New England, you're playing outdoors, you might need to take a look at the forecast, and it will give you an indication. There's no way the team was going to get to the mid-30s, high 30s in conditions like that. But overall, I thought it was a very well-played game. Skip, I think the missed opportunity for the New England Patriots really hurt them. When you play a team when you're undermanned, and there's no question in my mind, even with all the absences on the defensive side of the football, I think the Bucs have the better roster, especially offensively. And you can't turn the football over. Mac Jones threw an interception. I thought he started the game out, Skip. He looked like a rookie. He looked nervous. He looked anxious. He wasn't throwing the ball. He wasn't placing it like I've seen Mac Jones throw the football. And then the second turnover, Skip, they fumbled the ball on first down on the 28-yard line. At worst case scenario, you're probably going to get points out of that, although it's not a foregone conclusion. Matthew Slater knows. Skip, you cannot go out of bounds, run 40 yards out of bounds, and come back in. They're going to call unsportsmanlike conduct. When I was in the league, Skip, that's what guys used to do. Because they know you can't hit him. That's why the defenders didn't touch him. Because if they would have touched him, it'd have been on. You can't block a guy out of bounds. So guys just started running out of bounds, and the NFL says, no, we got to do something about this. Mm-hmm. This is not sportsmanship. This is not the spirit of the rule.
He made a hellacious hit when he came back in.
After 40 yards down the field, and then he's looking like they push him out of bounds. I know. They can push you out of bounds, but you got to make a concerted effort to immediately get back in bounds. So, Skip, I thought things like that, I thought that hurt them because they recovered the fumble on that situation. They would have gotten the ball in great field position had they not done that. So I think it was just the missed opportunities that they had a kick to take the lead with 50 seconds, Skip. I was praying the kick go in because I wanted to see if Tom Brady could do it one more time in the house that he didn't build it, but he helped refurbish it. He has it all nice and lavish for everybody else to come afterwards. They can look at it, man, this thing look really nice, man. Tom did it really nice up in here. I wanted to see, Skip, could he do it one more time against the guy that he spent 20 years doing it for, Coach Bill Belichick. Yep. So I was praying, and at the kick, it's like, man, it looked good. It
did.
And then you started seeing drift, Skip. You're like, I don't know about this one now.
And then, folks said he thought it was good.
Yes.
And it drifted and it drifted and it left uprighted.
It left uprighted. So for me, Skip, I thought that was the biggest key, the missed opportunities. Coach Belichick did a great job against Tom Brady, Skip. Held him to his lowest completion percentage since he's been a Buccaneer. Did a lot of disguising, played a lot of 3-man front, dropped guys in coverage. Brought pressure some. They got some pressure. But I thought overall the game plan that he had in place was very good. At the end of the day, sometimes it comes down to kicks. And Tom Brady, for the better part of his career, Skip, has had really good kickers. He had Vinatieri, had Gostkowski, now Suckup, and Nick Folk wasn't able to give the Patriots the lead. But I thought it was a great game. But I believe it was the missed opportunities that went a long way in the Patriots losing this ball game.
Okay, I hear you. And I'm going to go you a couple better.
Okay.
Before I answer Jenny's question about what's the biggest reason, let me just say, for Tom Brady's sake, I am so relieved this is over for him. It feels like his season can now start because I think his whole first 4 games, the first 3 games, were pointed at this night. This was everything to him. I do not believe he ever wanted to win a Super Bowl more than he wanted to win that game last night. And I told you Friday, I feared for him because I figured his emotions were going to be scattered all over Foxborough. And he came out way overamped.
Right.
And he had, as I predicted, a long, hard, rainy night. It wasn't Brady-esque. There were flashes, but there wasn't a body of work of Tom Brady.
It wasn't the consistency that we're used to seeing from him.
No. But now, for the biggest reason, the shock to me of the whole night, and after I slept on it, it really hit me right between the eyes. The shock was that in the end, Bill Belichick lost his nerve and he lost faith in his next Tom Brady that he stole down the middle of the first round. Mac Jones had a very good night, at one point completing 19 straight passes, in part because, A, the Buccaneers came without their best pass rusher, JPP. So Judon is for the Patriots. JPP is not for the Buccaneers. And that was a huge difference in the game because Judon was wreaking some havoc on Tom Brady. He was making him flinch and look and move off his spot regularly.
Yeah, Donovan Smith did not have a good...
He had a hard night against him because he is really good, and that is by far the best free agent that they signed. That he is a difference maker. Furthermore, the Bucs continued to lose DBs until they were down their top 3 cornerbacks. So Jamel Dean couldn't go. Carlton Davis got hurt. Murphy Bunting obviously still on IR.
He should be coming back soon, Skip,
coming
next
back
week
fairly
or two.
soon. And in the end, Antoine Winfield Jr. also was concussed and out of the game. Richard Sherman joined the team Wednesday. I'm getting choked up about this. He played all but one defensive snap. He started and he finished the game. Richard Sherman, I kept looking at number 5. He used to be 25, obviously. Number 5 is out there playing football when he said last Wednesday, I need a couple of weeks.
I need a week or two.
Yeah, right?
They got the man off his couch.
What are you doing?
They got the man off his couch.
Couch.
Now, you know what the people are thinking. You see what he did? Yeah, but he didn't take 10 years. He didn't get off his couch after 10 years.
That's true.
He got off his couch after 6 months.
He did after 6 months, and he's out there kind of hanging tough, man. And they are going after him because he wasn't in game shape. I have no idea how he lasted the whole game, but he did, and kudos to him for just surviving the game. He's going to be extremely sore. He's going to be extremely sore because he got hit and had to hit a number of times that I don't think he was ready for. So it comes down to, remember last week I was all over the immortal D. Delaney that they had to throw into the Rams game. So they said no more of D. Delaney. He only played special teams last night. So they have to go with Pierre Desir, who played at Lindenberg and Washburn, or his 2 colleges. And he's bounced around. He's now on his 8th. Yeah, he's been all over the place. He's on his 8th team now. What? And he got thrown in for a grand total of 26 defensive snaps because they just didn't have any corners left. And so given all that, it was just Mac Jones's game to win because they just couldn't cover. And it comes down to a third down play, and if we could see this, Levante David makes the play of the game. It is the play of the night.
Jacoby Myers is going to run for a while, Skip.
He's got on a shallow cross, and he's just unguarded to me. I didn't see anybody even near him. And Levante leaps up. Oh, that's the lob out into the flat.
Cockrell.
Okay, then are we up to this? Isn't the play actually, but we're talking about the third down play where Levante jumped up and batted it down.
On 3rd and 3.
Yeah, 3rd and 3.
I actually thought they were going to go for it on 4th and 3.
Okay, well now I'm getting to my point about Belichick.
You thought that too.
Well, this is where Belichick lost his nerve because we've got 4th and 3 at the 37. Well, they couldn't stop him. They had no more DBs left. They have little to no pass rush unless they send the backers up the middle. And finally, New England was starting to pick up the blitzes really well because they're obviously very well coached. And after a while, they're starting to lock in on Devin White coming up the middle or maybe occasionally Levante. They had some corner blitzes. Even Richard came on a blitz at one point. And I could not believe that Bill Belichick would fold his tent because 4th and 3 at the 37, I just think you can convert that. And I saw the ESPN stats and information would tell you would have a better chance of winning the game by about 10% if you went for it on fourth down than if you tried a 56-yard field goal.
He would have gone for it had he had that second timeout. Remember, he had to burn the timeout because they was about to have too many men on the field and give New England a first down. So they had to burn one of their two remaining timeouts. I believe, Skip, if he has two timeouts, I believe he goes for it.
Okay, but you just said you wanted to see if the GOAT, if you gave him 50-some seconds left, could he go pull it off?
Right.
Well, you could have eliminated that.
Oh, yeah.
If you complete to Jacoby Myers a 5-yard pass on 4th and 3, all of a sudden you're set up to just run the clock down to nothing.
You make them burn their timeouts.
And all of a sudden, if you could complete, maybe you could get 10 more total yards. Well, you could reduce that field goal to 44. And I think Skip, you could make it.
I'm not so sure, Skip. I thought you had this video. I didn't call for it. I thought you were going to call for it. I'm not so sure, Skip. He doesn't go for a ways. It's going to be a lot shorter than a 40-something yard field goal, Skip, because he's running. I mean, the middle just opens up.
For Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, for Jacoby Myers.
This is on 3rd and 3.
Yes. It just parts like the Red Sea.
Okay.
So it looks like he's going to go for at least 15, 20 yards.
Okay. Now, let's go back to the GOAT. And let's see what he did in the previous series when he just said, I've had enough of this game, and I'm going for the throat. I'm going for Coach Belichick's throat. And he goes to AB twice. If we could see the two throws, this is 2:13 left. 2nd and 8 at the 30 and 3rd and 8 at the 30. And the first throw, he lost it in the lights. Like this is just, I thought it was a really good throw. If AB could track it and just turn the other way.
I think it hung up and got caught up in the wind too, Skip, and it pushed it. Because you see AB is looking.
Okay, that's the second throw. Okay, so he goes rainbow on the first one, and then he goes rocket on the second one. Well, this is highly catchable by that guy. That guy? This is a really sweet throw. That's a touchdown throw.
That's a hard catch, Skip, because when you catch it that low, you lose sight of with guys. If you notice when guys catch it over the shoulder, they try to catch it like this. Once you let that ball go, your eyes are not tracking way down there. So that's why he lost it.
Okay.
But very catchable. No question. AB?
For that guy?
Yes.
A multi-Pro Bowler, a guy who at certain points in his career is considered the best receiver in football.
No question.
I just think you got to hang on to that ball, and you couldn't throw it any better. So I was impressed that Brady finally just said, hell with all this. I'm going to him. He's single covered because you almost have to single cover him out of the slot.
And why was he single covered, Skip? I mean, why was he going after him? That was the guy that was injured. Remember, he went out of play, and they brought Bethel in. He went to Bethel.
It's Jonathan Jones.
Yeah.
And he went right at him on 3rd and 6. I tweeted immediately, AB, go for AB. Right. And on 3rd and 6, he converts to AB. Right. And then he says, okay, something's wrong with him.
Yes.
I got my little man on him. I love my little man. My little man wants to wreak as much revenge in Foxborough almost as much as I do because he had his issues with the owner, obviously. So I'm going to my little man because that's the way we have to cap this off. I don't have my security blanket, who is Gronk. And usually in those situations, it's just Gronk all day and all night.
Right.
And Gronk wasn't there, obviously, so he couldn't force Belichick to double him every time, which would have loosened up a lot of other things.
Right.
So he has to go home run to AB. And I thought both throws were good enough to be touchdowns, and both of them were not touchdowns.
Right.
Okay, so that just opens the door for what happened after that. And here comes Mac Jones, and they got an enormous 20-yard penalty on Jordan Whitehead in the last drive, if we could see that. And I have no idea, but it felt like even the referees were saying, no, Tom, we're not going to let you do this tonight because there's a throw over the middle by Mac Jones. I don't know what Jordan Whitehead did wrong here. Help me out.
I think they should. I think the foul was on Devin White, but they called Jordan Whitehead because if you look at it, Devin White grabs him.
Well, does he?
Yeah, he grabbed him. If you go back to look at see, he's got it. That's what they call it right there, Skip. That's not. The ball is behind him.
The ball's behind everybody.
Yeah.
The ball is basically uncatchable to me because he can't even find, like Hunter Henry can't even find the football, right? So that set them up in shop, where they suddenly had a chance now to do some damage. So in the big picture of the night, as off as Tom Brady was, if you look at what happened, the Bucs went 9 of 19 on 3rd down, and the home team was only 2 of 9.
Right.
Well, the offense was clicking pretty well. Like Brady made a lot of big throws, and they ran it pretty well.
And they did a great job of keeping him out of the end zone for the most part.
Okay.
And like you said, 9 of 19 versus 2 of 9.
Yeah.
And you can't go 2 of 9. The Patriots really needed to play a perfect game, Skip. Not turn it over. Mac threw a horrible interception. They fumbled the ball on the 28-yard line. They missed the opportunity with Slater running out of bounds. But you need to be somewhere around 50% on third down to give you an opportunity.
Yep.
So if you convert those, if you look at Kansas City yesterday, Skip, they 90% on third down. When you let a team get 90%, you're losing. You let a team get 50, you start letting teams get 50% on third down, Skip, you're probably going to lose those games. But give the Bucs credit, even though they're down so many guys in the defensive backfield. Skip, that injury like a groin injury. That looks something serious to Carlton Davis. I don't believe he's coming back anytime soon.
He's pounding the turf.
Yes.
Usually when they pound the turf, it means I know I'm done for a while.
Right, and they brought the card out to get him out. So it looked like he might be down for a while. And you mentioned Jamel Dean. You mentioned Murphy Bunting.
Yep.
They're hurting right now in the defensive backfield.
They are really hurting. And if Winfield had a concussion, he could be gone for...
He's in protocol.
Yep.
But number 9, the guy that's filling in for JPP, he had a nice night, Skip.
Yeah, he's a rookie. The
first round.
Yeah, Tryon. Yeah. He's got a second name that I can't pronounce.
Yeah, Tryon.
Joe Tryon, from University of Washington.
Right. So he played well. He played well.
He was the last pick in the first round. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the Bucs also surprised me because they got their running game back going. So they had 119 rushing. And the one thing they do better than anybody in football is you cannot run on them. Dallas didn't even try to run on them, and they wound up with -1 yard. So it's 119 to -1. That'll help keep you in the game.
Then at some point I tweeted, the Patriots said, "The hell with the run. They're not. It's a waste of down. It's a waste of time. Just put him in the gun." And Skip, you know what? For the most part, if you look at Mac Jones, he plays better. At Alabama, they kept him in the gun 95% of the time.
They did.
So you might have to start running your run plays out of the gun because for whatever reason, he seems more comfortable playing out of the gun. Once they went to the gun and they let him run speed, just hurry up, Skip, he was sensational. He was sensational.
Sensational. So also turnovers. The one thing Tom did very well was, even though he was wild high in the first half, he wouldn't try anything crazy in the red zone. He didn't try to force one into coverage in the end zone. Every time it was even close, he just said, I'm throwing it in the fifth row.
He knows this is the kind of game, Skip.
You can't make a mistake.
Nope.
So they made no mistakes. And also, he only went down one time, which is pretty good because they were, in the first half especially, they beat Mac. You want to talk about sore? He's going to be sore this morning because he took a bunch of hits.
Skip, I don't care what anybody say. I believe Shaq Barrett punched that ball out. I believe that was a fumble. They gave the ball back to the Patriots, but I don't really know what else you want the guy to do. The guy, yes, he bobbled it, but once he gained control, he took another step.
It's Jacoby Myers.
Yeah. And Shaq Barrett punched the ball out.
Yep. So this is how bad it got for Tom Brady last night. I look up, and he is throwing a red zone pass to a guy named Cody McElroy. You ever heard of Cody McElroy?
Never heard of McElroy.
Okay, I only heard of him because he played on the basketball team at Oklahoma State. So I knew he was from small town Oklahoma. I didn't know how small. How about Chattanooga, Oklahoma? You ever heard of Chattanooga, Oklahoma?
I heard Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Okay, thank you. Well, so have I. And he went to Southeastern Oklahoma State. He was briefly on the practice squad with my Cowboys. He's bounced around the league. He's 6 feet 6 inches tall, and they were so desperate for a red zone target without Gronk that Tom Brady actually threw a pass to Cody McElroy in this game. It is just preposterous to me. I couldn't even compute it last night that it came down to Cody McElroy and Pierre Desir on defense. They're annihilated injury-wise. They are decimated. So all things considered, given the hype, given the build-up, given the fact that he did break the all-time record fairly quickly.
I hate when guys break records on the road because we don't pay it its proper respects. I wish somehow it could always line up, Skip, where you get that Drew Brees type moment where you're at home, a Monday night game, they break the game. Because something like this, it should be stopped. I'm not saying it's the all-time home run record or something like that because football records are not the same in baseball records. We know baseball records are more are thought more highly of than football records. I don't care what LeBron is. Once he breaks Kareem's record, Skip, they stopping that game.
Lord have mercy. They might just suspend the game and say, well, we'll have to finish later.
I know you remember this, Skip. You remember when Tim Brown caught his 100th pass? And they stopped the game for like 30 minutes. They brought his mom, they brought his cousins, they brought everybody from his hometown out on the field. I was like, well, damn.
Well, do you remember what they did for Breeze in New Orleans?
Yes! I think it was against Washington football team. If I'm not mistaken.
It went on for a half hour.
Yes.
Okay.
So, I'm not saying it should go on that long, but Skip.
Okay, it's not like Brady is vying back and forth with Drew Brees because obviously he's retired.
It's over.
Okay, so this record is going to stand for a while.
Right.
Do I give Mahomes a chance? And sure I do.
But even if you give him a chance, Skip, you still talking about 15 years. It's not going to be like Brees. Brees had the record for a year.
That's what I'm saying, and that's all you get.
That's all you get.
They got the football and threw it out, and then they went right on with the next play. Okay, so we did that. So the point was there was so much hyping and overhyping for Brady that in the end, when I look at his numbers, 22 of 43, you said low percentage for 269, but he had no touchdowns, but no interceptions, no strip sack fumbles.
Right.
So he actually played a clean football game under the highest emotional pressure he's felt maybe his whole career.
Well, Skip, there are not very many quarterbacks that can win a football game when they don't throw any touchdowns. It's hard to do. I mean, you think about it because
unless the final score is 19-17.
But even then, Skip, when you're talking about that, because that guy has the balls on so many plays, and if he throws the ball as many times as he threw it last night, give it those conditions. But to not have a TD and still win, it just goes to show you Tom understands the moment of the game. He's like, a turnover here or there could actually swing the game in their favor. If I'm going to miss, I'm going to miss high. If I'm going to miss, I'm going to miss out of bounds.
Yep.
I'm not going to give them any chance the ball get popped up in the air and fluky things happen.
Yep.
He does as good a job of understanding the game early on as anybody in the history of the game that's ever played that position.
Ever.
He understands it like, this is not the day I need to take a risk.
Okay, and I'm going to sum up Tom Brady's night and his emotions with a play that happened early in the fourth quarter. It was 3rd and 6 at the Tampa 42. And do you remember what Brady did? He took off running, if we could see it, because you want to talk about an effort to get a first down. This is 44 years old, through 2 defenders, head over heel, all the way back.
Just tackle him. Why would you hit him? Why would you push him forward? Just tackle him.
Through 2 defenders.
Grab him.
And falls backward and throws the ball back over his head for the first down.
Did I get it? Did I get it? Down, y'all?
I got it. Are you believing?
He got it.
And you don't think he flashed on that ugly 40 that he ran?
Yeah. That's
right?
This is all I got. I got.
So, way to go, Tom. That sort of summed up his night. That showed you how much he wanted to win that game and what he was willing to risk at age 44.
Yeah, the emotions of this game, Skip, it was far greater than I even think Tom anticipated. Because if you look at his first couple of series, he did not look like Tom Brady. I'm like, damn, Tom spraying the ball all over the field. I get the conditions are adverse, but I've seen you play in conditions. I've seen you play in conditions like this before, Tom.
Okay, so in the end, I thought Belichick had the game. I even tweeted, let's just get this over with, because I was just convinced they would march right down because they couldn't cover. They're down to their 4th and 5th string defensive backs. And I just thought Belichick will just go for the throat here. And he went for the 56-yard field goal. And you know the rest of the story.
But this is Brady, Skip. These are the type games. This is how he built his reputation. He finds a way to win the games when you said the other team should have won.
Yep.
Somehow Brady finds a way to pull a rabbit out the hat.
He did. And in the end, the better man won. And I'm talking about the better man on and off the field won. Wow. And I was very happy for that.
So much from that game, and we are not done talking about it.
No mercy.
Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott had their way against the Panthers' top-ranked defense. Dak threw 4 touchdowns, while Zeke rushed for 143 yards and a touchdown of his own. The duo led Dallas to a 36-28 win over Carolina to improve to 3-1 on the year as they remain atop the NFC East. So, Shannon, scale of 1 to 10, how impressed were you with the Cowboys?
2.
A 2?
Yeah.
What game were you watching?
I watched the game that You remember when we had this conversation on Friday? I said it's going to be a very similar game to the Philadelphia Eagles because there's a team, they've beaten a team that I didn't think and a lot of people didn't think was very good when you looked at their resume. Beating the Jets doesn't impress me. Beating the Houston Texans doesn't impress me. Jameis lost to an 0-4 team yesterday. So we're going to have to reassess what we really think about the New Orleans Saints because they got that great win on opening day against the Packers.
Yep.
Everybody was ready to anoint them. So we're going to have to reevaluate. It's going to take a little bit longer before we understand just what the New Orleans Saints are. But I think we can go out on a limb and say we don't believe the Jets are a very good team, even though they had a very impressive win yesterday, Skip. It seems to me that these teams now, if you got on offense, Skip, that you have wide receivers and you get down the field in a hurry, you can make plays. Teams are playing what we call shell coverage. They're playing their safeties deep. They say, we dare you to run the football. We dare you. We double dare you. And we saw that yesterday with the Cowboys. There's like, we can stop you with this light box. And the Cowboys say, no, hell, you can't. You better drop that safety down there. Well, Skip, they're down J.C. Horn. They're down a few corners also. Do you really want to go one-on-one with Amari and CeeDee Lamb and Wilson, who's playing very well? They got some tight ends, Jarwin and Schultz, do a very good job in the receiving game for the Cowboys. And so that's the way they were going to play it. And Zeke got going early. And Zeke is a type of running back, and this is how most running backs are, Skip. You let them get a 10-yard run. You let them get a 15-yard run within their first 2 to 3 carries, well, you got hell on your hand. Because now they're getting the rhythm. They're like, oh, yeah, it's going to be one of them days. And Zeke started eating. And so for me, Skip, when I look at it, I never thought, and I told you this, I say, Skip, I don't really believe that Carolina's that good. I don't believe all those defense. You throw out the stats, number 1 in rush, number 1 in this, number 1 in that. I said, well, Skip, who they play? Well, they're number. I say, Skip, they really haven't played anybody. Davis Mills doesn't excite me. Zach Wilson, I think, has the potential to be good if they get some more pieces around him and can protect him.
Had a big day yesterday.
But at this present time, no. So for me, Skip, you want me to give you credit for something that against a team that I didn't think was very good anyway. Dak was 14 to 22, 188, 4 touchdowns. That was very impressive. But once you get the running game going and you see they play action off it. Now, I was impressed with the throw to Amari. Only a handful of quarterbacks going to put that ball right there. It is just basically here's the chimney throw. You just drop it down the chimney and he just stuck his arm out and the ball fell in his arm. But Carolina is not very good. I don't care what you say, what other people have tried to convince themselves that, oh, Carolina. No, Skip, they're not that good.
Shannon Sharpe.
Yep.
I'm going to borrow your phrase and tell you you're about to have hell to pay. You're about to have hell on your hands because my team is legit. To answer Jenny's question.
They're not.
Scale of 1 to 10, how impressed was I yesterday? That was a big 9 for me. I'm just...
A 9?
Yeah, I'm eye testing. I don't care who the opponent was yesterday. I'm eye testing my Cowboys. I do care that Carolina has a legit defense. I do care that they did come in number 1 against the run, having allowed 135 yards in 3 games.
What running back did they face?
We went for 245 in 1 game. 135 in 3 games they'd allowed. 245 in 1 game was my Cowboy rushing attack. What have I told you about my team? It's turned into a rushing juggernaut. My team has suddenly climbed very quietly to number 2 in the NFL in rushing, just behind the Cleveland Browns. Does that impress you at all? Does that catch your eye? Does that open your eyes? Does that turn your head?
Well,
Does that scare the hell out of you?
Well, Cleveland better keep their running game because their quarterback...
Okay, well, I told you what was going to happen. As soon as Odell came back, he was
Oh, now you were able to stop that,
well,
Skip.
that's what I called it. I called it. He had his worst game with the first game back from Odell. But here we go back to my Cowboys. They ran it 34 times yesterday and threw it only 22 times. That is the formula for magic to happen. 34 to 22.
Man, if you think your Cowboys going to be going through the season throwing the ball 22 times, you out your mind.
With Dak Prescott as the leader and quarterback of my team.
Oh, as the maestro. He's the maestro now, huh?
They are now 27-0, 27-0 when they run it more than they pass it with Dak at quarterback. That's a very interesting stat that just shot all the way up to 27-0. And I've been trying to tell you, something is going on here with my team.
They're playing bad teams. That's what's going on.
Something very different from last year or the year before or any of the other Dak years. Something special is starting to percolate here because it's all coming together right on time, and they get a little better each game because they have firepower on both sides of the ball. And I remind you that Mike McCarthy said before the year, I've never seen one side of the ball flipped in an offseason like we flipped our defense. How can you not love that? Because what did they do yesterday? They keep taking the ball away. They turned it over no times. The team that came in leading the league in sacks, the Carolina Panthers, led the league in sacks. How many times did they get to Dak? How about no times? No turnovers, no sacks, and 2 more takeaways. And I think even you would agree, Trevon Diggs has risen into, he's looking like
Defensive Player of the Year?
Well, he's in the conversation as the best cornerback. I know that guy for the Rams is pretty great.
But Skip, remember I told you, I said, Skip, he has the ability to be good. I said, once he stops guessing so much, because last year he was feast or famine. He might get you, but he gonna give up the touchdown. Now he's not guessing as much, Skip.
Okay,
he's not, as Woody says, he's not lazy.
Yeah.
No, Skip, there are only a handful of cornerbacks that could have made that play.
Okay, he guessed on the second one. Are we showing the second one? No, this is the first one. Okay, he just sort of drifted.
And he got great hands.
Great hands because of his brother. Here's the second one. This is a clue pick.
Right.
This is I gotcha. Maybe it's a film study pick.
Well, Skip, I'm playing the Skip.
Remember, that's DJ Moore. And he not only did he jump the route, he took the football right out of his hands because he can play the ball.
Hey, Skip, if I'm not mistaken, it's 3rd and 3. He knows there's coming out with a blitz. He knows the ball's got to come out quick. He said, I'm going to stand right here. If he throws this and he misses inside, I'm going to pick it.
Okay, it's a number 1 corner pick. It's one of those that if you're going to be a Pro Bowl corner, that's the kind of play you have to make. So now we've seen 4 games with 5 interceptions. That will work.
Yes.
Something is going on here, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
And how about my man Randy Gregory? I predicted before the year that he was going to have a breakout year and make a Pro Bowl kind of statement. I don't know if he has enough reputation to make the Pro Bowl. Was he not wreaking havoc yesterday?
He played
had
well.
2 sacks. And I've said before, Micah needs to be lined up in a 3-point stance down on the line of scrimmage, or at least standing up on the edge and coming off the edge. And yesterday they tried to out-cute themselves. Let's play him at linebacker so he's floating in the middle of the pass. I don't care. I don't want him back in the middle of the pass defense. No. I need him up near get near the line of scrimmage. Wherever you want to put him, you can move him all over. Sometimes they would stand him up in the middle of the formation. I'm good with that. Rush the passer. Not until the end, in the 4th quarter, did they start rushing the passer.
But Skip, if you look at Carolina, the offensive line has always been a question mark because how good could they protect Sam Darnold? If you look at Houston was getting pressure on him. And so that was the thing. And Dallas says, you know what? Did a great job, 4-man rush, got some pressure on him, and they got him out of the ball game early. Skip, if you think about it, the 3rd quarter when Zerline made this field goal, it was 36-14, which I told you, I said, Skip, it's going to be very similar to the game to the Eagles because I don't believe Carolina is as good as their record would indicate. Bill Parcells said, you are what your record says you are, but you can have an inflated resume. And I believe their resume is inflated because they play some pretty bad teams. Well, I think for the most part, they got exposed. They don't protect the quarterback particularly well. DJ Moore is legit, Skip. I think he's legit. I like Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is showing you that he can play. Give him a little protection. He can play. Skip, I'm not saying he's the second coming, but he can play. But their defense, Skip, I was never impressed with their defense because you can't name the Jets running back. The only reason I can name the Texans running back is because that's my job to know that Lindsey, who was in Denver last year, they got Ingram and Skip. Remember they made that trade for D-Hop and the running back from the Cardinals? He 3rd team.
I got it. So speaking of running backs, how much of this did you see yesterday? How much of this did you love?
I saw more than I needed to see.
Yeah. I told you he's going to have a bounce back year. I don't think he'll ever be the first 3 years Zeke. I definitely don't think he'll be the Ohio State Zeke. But that was a bounce back game yesterday.
I thought he was gone, Skip. When he hit the corner on that one, back 2016-17, Zeke, he hit his head on the goalpost on that one.
I know it, but I've told you, I don't have that anymore, but at least he got free.
Oh, he got out on him. He got out on him.
Can we see him get free for the 47-yarder?
You got to hit your head on the goalpost in this one, Skip. Okay, they got it blocked up. Skip, you go. You got to be gone, Skip.
All right. He's trudging. He is sleek Zeke. He is in much better condition than he was a year ago.
He just can't get the 5th gear anymore, Skip. He just stays 3rd. That's 3rd gear right there. He can't get the 4th. He definitely can't get the 5th anymore.
If we could have had a hockey substitution right there where Pollard just runs off the bench and says, let me have the ball and I'll take it home.
If that's Pollard's gone.
Oh, he's history, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but I do have lightning to complement thunder. And Pollard had a nice game with a couple of bursts, and Zeke had a great game, right?
Skip, let's run this back. Watch how, if you can run this back one more time, watch where Steele takes this defensive end and deposits him. Look at Steele.
My right tackle.
Look at right tackle. Look at 95. Look what 95 is.
That's an undrafted free agent from Texas Tech.
He got the man near the first down marker.
Okay.
That's 10 yards away.
Okay, I love it.
Look at this.
My line can
Look
flat
at
out
this.
run. Okay, love it. Love it. That's what we do now.
Oh, that's what we do now.
We run block better than we pass block. Am I right? Woo! I got thunder. I got lightning. I got a defense that makes plays all over the field. I got Gregory. I got Micah. And I got Trevon Diggs, except I didn't have Trevon Diggs down the stretch. And I'm saying, what are you doing, Mike McCarthy? And Trevon seems happy. He's over there smiling, just chatting with the fellas on side.
I thought he had back spasms.
Okay, well, they said after the game he had some back issue, and they decided just to make it precautionary to keep him out. And I'm thinking, Mike, wake up. Carolina looks like they just might get back in this game.
They get back in another, Skip.
No.
They would do. Carolina, the Cowboys had already took their foot off. Skip, you know, you get somebody down, you're like, okay, now I'm gonna let you back up. Now go on and leave it alone now. That's what the Cowboys did. They had Carolina down and let them up.
My team is going to have to win in spite of its head coach and occasionally in spite of its owner / operator / GM. And yesterday, Mike McCarthy had one weird decision that he made. He could have had a 2nd and 27, and he said, let's just keep it at 3rd and 12. We declined the 15-yard penalty. And Darnold just says, okay, thank you very much. Bam. And he converts to 3rd and 12. Well, how could you not take a 2nd and 27? It's just hard to convert it because you're going to hit a couple little passes and you're not going to be able to pull that one off, right?
I mean, 3rd and 12 is not out of the ordinary. I can see, Skip, if you want to decline it and make it 3rd and 27. Okay, fine, I get that.
Mike McCarthy continues to seem to me to get overwhelmed by instantaneous strategic decisions. Like, I got to do what? I decline.
Skip, if it's not the obvious, he struggles.
He struggles. Well, okay, so I'm trying to give you 1 point that we're going to have to overcome our head coach.
But can you?
But I don't give you anything else because even my man Amari Cooper yesterday, I don't always trust his fortitude. And it looked like he tweaked his hamstring, and I thought, well, he's done for this game and probably for about 3 more. And to his credit, because I think he's swept up in the new spirit of the team and with Dak back at the controls, and he said, you know what, I'm going to be okay.
I call Amari Cooper Lazarus.
Okay.
Nobody comes back from the dead more than he does.
Okay.
You remember he got hit? He allegedly got hit in the ribs, and the 2 guys hit each other, and he's rolling down on the ground. Oh, they got me. Oh, my ribs.
Okay.
Bro, they hit each other. They didn't touch you.
Okay, so he sucked it up, and he came back.
Sucked up what? There's nothing wrong with him.
Well, whatever. He was gimping on his hamstring. You see him limp off like.
And gimped on it. He gimped down the field and got a 35-yard touchdown.
Can we see that, please? Because that was the throw of throws. This is just.
Skip, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, Skip.
Little pump and go. And wait, how about your hamstring? Oh, he's back and he caught it. 19, just caught a touchdown. How sweet is this little pump and go?
This is what I don't get. Look at the little route, Skip. He just looks towards the sideline. Okay, look at this, bro. Why you biting on that? Okay,
that's that kid from Jacksonville that was a high draft pick, the Henderson kid, and he just joined them, and he bit.
Why would you bite
him?
So if a guy. How many times, I would ask C.J. Henderson, how many times have you seen a guy run an out route like that?
Okay, I got it.
At least let him sell it like two, 3 steps, not just a nod.
Okay, and I got to give one nod to Dak because at one point on actually what was a huge play, a 4th and 1 play from the 46, if we could see this is late in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Remember the scramble?
Yeah.
This did my heart good. This is Dak Prescott saying, I am not afraid. I will run on my surgically repaired ankle. He's not quite as quick as he used to be. He's light stepping, but once he got going a little bit, he had a little bit of speed. But I just loved it that he had the guts to say, you know what? If they're going to dare me, I'm going to take this. And he took it for 21 yards, and it was a big 21 yards.
Yeah, you don't want to give Skip. You don't want to give the ball to your field. You're in your territory.
Yeah.
It was 4th and 2.
We trailed by a point at halftime, and we came out in the 3rd quarter and said, watch this, 20-0 ball game. Thank you very much.
Exactly.
Thank you.
And you that's the number 1 defense.
Yep.
Thank you. No, did I stop it?
We made them look bad. That was the problem.
Oh, all right. I'm going to let you be happy about that one. Guys, we need to get back to what we saw last night. There were so many storylines, and I want to talk about Brady and Belichick because they did embrace briefly on the field at the end of the Bucs win over the Patriots last night, but reportedly The two had already made plans to meet after the game, and the two had an approximately 20-minute conversation in the visitors' locker room before addressing the media. Brady told reporters, quote, "We had a personal relationship for 20 years. We've had a lot of personal conversations that should remain that way." So, Shannon, what do you make of this?
Coach Belichick knows what he's doing. He no longer wants this to be the story. He doesn't want it to be Tom versus Bill. But it's going to be that until one of you guys retire. That's what it's going to be, Skip, because you had such great success together and you split up. For whatever reason, okay, maybe Tom had better opportunities, but we know deep down inside, Coach Belichick wanted Tom Brady out of New England. So let's just say we're going to do hypothetical, Skip. We're going to do it nice. We're going to play nice. They decided to part ways mutually, amicably. Mm-hmm. And so now Coach Belichick doesn't want that to be, Coach Belichick doesn't want to be the bad guy that he ran. And so now he said, Skip, this that relationship, you know what I'm saying? You break up with a person and you see them and they doing really, really good. Hey, how you doing? You look so good. I'm so happy for you. You seething. I ain't never seen you look so happy. I ain't never seen you feel so good. That's what's happened. Tom Brady went on, found him a new partner, and he seems happy. He seems healthy. He seems to enjoy himself more than he ever did when he went with you. And he's basically said that. The way that we used to do it seems archaic. We're having fun, all the things. So whatever Coach Belichick said, he could have said that when Tom was there. All that, if anybody could play till they're 50, Tom can do it. Well, you should have gave him a 3-year extension and let him play till he's at least 45. And then you could reevaluate after 3 years and see if he still can play until he's 50. But that's not what you did. And so now he wants to be, I really love Tom. Tom was great. We had some great things here. No, all that, you pushed all that to the side. All those 20 years that you had, all those Super Bowls, all those come from behinds, you pushed that aside because you thought you could get anybody. Now, see, Tom, this is what I believe about Tom Brady. Skip, never really had any in-depth conversation. Last year during the draft, we got on, had a little fun, we joking. I believe Tom Brady believes he would not have had that level of success with any other coach other than Coach Belichick. On the flip side, Coach Belichick says, if you'd have gave me Aaron Rodgers or Peyton Manning, I would have had the same level of success, if not more, than I had with Tom Brady. Therein lies the difference. Coach Tom Brady will say, I will give Coach Belichick his kudos believing that I had a lot of this success because of him. Coach Belichick says, it's me. I could have took anybody, Peyton Manning or Aaron Rodgers, and had the same level of success. There is nothing that could be said that can undo what's been done. So, like, Coach Belichick is strategic. All this was planned. They had planned this before. Of course. Why would? It's funny. You could find 20 minutes after a game to go talk to Tom Brady. But you, after man getting ready to leave after 20 years, you couldn't find 20 minutes to go meet with him.
Thank you. Bingo.
It's me with all that, man.
Case closed. Thank you. What a wily old scoundrel is Bill Belichick. Shannon Sharpe, in all your years around the sport of National Football League football, have you ever heard of a rival coach contacting the opposing quarterback in the week before the game to set up a meeting after the game?
Never.
Obviously, these guys were together for 20 years, but This is unheard of.
Unheard of.
This was great gamesmanship on Belichick's part.
Of course.
This was genius tactician. This is when you're strategizing at the highest, wiliest level, because you're thinking, how can I diffuse the bomb that might be Psycho Tom, who wants to come, as you said, and lay not half 100, but 100 on him, right?
Skip, but you lit the fuse. Why you try to diffuse something that you lit?
Okay. But he knows how Brady can operate when he gets angry about something. So he knew he was in trouble, because I'm going to remind everybody, Bill Belichick's team was 7-9 last year. It has now fallen to 1-3, and I think he knew in his heart of hearts they were going to lose that game. I think it got much closer last night than he envisioned. I think he took a moral victory from that game because it stayed close to the bitter end. So at least he didn't get embarrassed or humiliated or annihilated, which is what he feared.
I think he prayed for the rain. Because he knows now the weather, Skip, now it levels the playing field. Okay.
And he also wanted to defuse the new media narrative that was exploding all around him thanks to the Seth Wickersham book. he was coming off as the bad guy. Even Shannon Sharpe came completely around last week, not that you weren't slowly but surely coming around and saying, that's on Bill, man. Bill was the bad guy here. Bill just pushed him out the back door. He wanted to stay and finish in New England, and Bill said, no, I'm going to do it my way because I need to prove to everyone I was the reason, not him. So I deserve the right. I need to start over and fresh. I'm going to draft my Tom Brady, my next Brady, and here we go.
You see what you just said? He said, I could draft. Mike McCarthy has no say on who's on the roster, who comes or who goes. If you're in New England in the last 20 years, you're there because Coach Belichick wanted you there. If you're gone because he no longer wanted you there. Tom Brady is gone for one simple reason. Coach Bill Belichick, the greatest head coach in NFL history, decided he could win without Tom Brady. That's it in a nutshell, Skip. We can get all cute and say, you know, but Tom gave you 20 years and he's earned the right and all that, and I get it all. But Tom Brady isn't there because Coach Belichick no longer wanted him there.
And so Belichick also needed to try to diffuse the narrative that is starting to damage his legacy because I think people are starting to look sideways. So this was as crafty a move since Spygate to me is to somehow get a message to Brady, hey, Tom, let's meet after the game. And Brady's emotions were already just scattered all over everywhere. He was just trying to focus, and he couldn't focus. He let his father do an interview before the Rams game. He let his trainer do an interview with the Boston media before the Rams game. And I told you, that is so un-Brady. And here he goes again. He's trying to get through the week and stay focused. Wait a second. Daddy, as in Bill, wants to see me? He wants to see me after the game when I never even played golf with him, except when we got forced to be paired at Pebble Beach.
Let me get this right. Somehow he got a message to Brady that he would like to talk to him after the game. But he couldn't get a message to Brady. Brady, let's do lunch.
Not ever.
Tom, Tom.
This is ironically all Tom ever wanted. So now he has to process the emotions of what's that all about? And as he's trying to lock in and focus for the game, even when he gets to the visitors' locker room, you don't think it was in the back of his mind? Bill wants to see me after the game.
For what?
What are we going to do? What are we going to talk about?
What do you want to talk about, Skip?
Well, it's just a distraction for Brady. I think it's a brilliant distraction by Belichick for Tom.
Skip, there is no sense in you meeting an ex if she's already married. She's already tied to knot. She moved on from you. He's moved on from you, Bill.
The water is completely under the bridge. It's over. It's over. And the ironic question to me would be if the field goal goes through the 56-yarder and they lose, would Tom have still met with Bill? I don't know.
Probably not.
You know how Brady is.
Of course.
He won't even shake hands after he loses the Super Bowl, right? So I don't know. But his mind had to be on Bill.
Correct.
And as we talked about, the first half, I've never seen him so off. It's just wild high, scattered thoughts, hard to focus. I know it was some the rain, but it was a lot just because he was back in his house that he built that Daddy pushed him out the back door of.
Skip, isn't it amazing when someone's trying to save face, the lengths they'll go to try to make it right?
It's unbelievable.
I mean,
this guy.
All the things that Coach Belichick did in the last 24 hours, he could have done, and Tom Brady still been in New England. If that was what he wanted, he didn't want that. Now he's trying to say, oh, Tommy, you can't fool Tom Brady. Tom Brady, no. He was there when you tried to push him out the door. Remember, he went upstairs to Mr. Kraft to put the kibosh on the Jimmy G thing. So you trying to tell him, oh, Tommy, I'm so happy for you. You're doing a great job. I knew you would do. Oh, you knew that? So you knew I could win another Super Bowl. You knew I could still play at an elite level. Yet you still wanted me. If you knew it so much, why didn't you do it? Just like I keep using relationship because I think quarterback and a head coach is the closest thing you get to a relationship because you spend so much time. We spend time around the guys, Skip, but the head coach and the quarterback spend more time together than any other positions. So you like to think so all the things that you're telling me now, why didn't you tell me then? If you thought I could do this, why didn't you keep me? Why didn't you put a ring on it?
Okay, and why did Belichick think he could get away with this? Because he knows that Tommy was taught by his real father that you do what the coach says. Right?
That's old school.
He's always been a good soldier type where, okay, that's just the way he is, and he tells guys in the locker room for years he was the buffer. Just accept it. We're still going to win in spite of him.
That's old school football, Skip. The way now, because back when I was coming up, the players never buck. Whatever the coach said, they would never buck. Now these young bucks, they buck at the coach. You say something sideways with them, they'll get sideways back right back at you.
I got it. But not Brady.
No, not.
But he's 44 years of age.
He's in the old
If you had switched places and put Aaron Rodgers in those shoes, I think Aaron Rodgers would tell Belichick to go to you-know-where.
Yeah.
With that. There's no way he would have met with him. And yet it was reported they met for 23 minutes. That's a long time because the media is awaiting Brady's post-game interview.
Correct.
He obviously did one on the field quickly with NBC.
Yes.
But this is going to be a big media session. You got it was the most requests they've ever had for media.
How can you carve out 23 minutes in a late game? So what time the game is? 11:30, almost 12 o'clock?
It was long, man.
Yeah.
I thought the first quarter was never going to end.
So you can carve out 23 minutes, but you couldn't carve out 10 minutes to tell Brady goodbye.
And it was also reported that they walked out of the locker room together, as the visitors' locker room, that they walked out not arm in arm, but side by side.
They wanted Coach Belichick wanted people to know.
And Brady went along with the image making, the remaking of, we're cool.
Right.
Really?
It's the old joint release.
Yep.
We're better off friends.
I know.
We've decided to live, stop it.
Yeah, I think Brady just wanted to be done with it.
Yes.
But Brady did get the last laugh because he did win the game by hook or crook.
He got the last laugh when he won the Super Bowl.
Well,
there's nothing. Even if Brady had lost that game, and you say, "Ooh, Belichick did a number on Brady," he ain't doing no number on him in the Super. Brady got a ring.
He got a ring.
You got to get a ring in order for you to say, you know what? I was just as much responsible for this as Tom. You've got to get a ring.
Okay, and I still say Brady has a great shot at a second ring this year, and I think Belichick has zero shot at a ring in the next couple of years that I can see.
Well, I'm not feeling good about my playoff prediction as I was at the beginning of the season. I did not see 1-3 at basically the quarter pole, although with 17 games now, Skip. I did not see 1-3 for the Patriots at the quarter pole.
Well, I thought they could go 10-7, and now they'd have to look at what they'd have to do.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah, we expect them to get on the hot streak when they hadn't got on the hot streak yet.
Nope.
Here I am thinking it was just a kumbaya meeting and everyone's friends again and we're hugging and embracing.
They're not friends.
Yeah, I fell for it. I fell for it from Bill. And now you guys have made me think that, they still don't like each other that much. No mercy. Kyler Murray and the Cardinals improved to 4-0 as they handed the Rams their first loss of the season. Kyler threw for 2 touchdowns and set the record straight on where Arizona is headed. The third-year QB said the team understands what we're capable of and where we can take it. And meanwhile, LA will look to bounce back against Seattle on Thursday Night Football this week on Fox. So, Shannon, here's the question. Have you gotten off the Rams bandwagon yet?
No, absolutely not. They had a bad game. Matthew Stafford had a bad game. Skip, he missed some opportunities that he didn't miss in the first 3 games. Every throw that he had an opportunity to make yesterday, he missed. But every throw in the first 3 games, he made. There are some throws to Cooper Kupp, Skip. He normally picks those in his pocket. And for whatever reason, he didn't make it yesterday. He had to throw to D-Jack. And what Stafford's going to have to understand, if you got to carry out a deep play-action fake to D-Jack, you got to cut it short. Because he's going to outrun your arm.
We've seen it twice against the Bucs, and now one yesterday he got picked.
Yes, he underthrew him. He got it for a touchdown. Because if D-Jack gets a free release, and people are going to be very reluctant to press him because he still has game-breaking speed. He can break the game wide open. You see this? This is too long. And he hits. Nope. You're not going to look at this. He's got him. That ball's got to be out there. That's got to be a touchdown.
That ball is 15 yards underthrown.
Pull up, throw it. See, once he hitches, it's over. It's ball game.
I know Matt's got a freakish arm, but he didn't have a freakish deep arm, maybe.
No, not that situation, Skip. And that's what, like I said, he just had a bad game. He was 5 of 13 when targeted. Cooper Kupp had 13 targets. He only connected on 5. Had him a couple of times up the seam. Those are normally touchdowns. He missed him. Had him in the flat on a touchdown. He missed him. So that's what I'm going to chalk it up. But give the Cardinals credit. If you tell me they're going to be able to run the football like they ran it yesterday, Skip, the NFC is on notice. I think you talk about Dallas put the NFC on notice. No, Arizona put the NFC on notice. But going to the Rams, and that was a demolition. Not only did they beat them up.
They did.
So they put the whole NFC with that guy, Skip.
216 yards rushing. Go ahead.
But it's that guy, Skip. That guy went and got 3rd and 16 with his leg.
He did.
Out of nothing.
Since you brought it up, could we please see Kyler? This is like nobody can do this except that little man.
And Lamar Jackson. Those the only two.
Yeah, Lamar could.
But Skip, this is ridiculous.
I don't know. The quick feed on this, the escape, is just silly. This is silly.
Look at this.
Oh, sorry, Charlie.
No. And the thing is, when he stops, keep pushing to the sideline. Make him turn back. Young should have just kept running. Okay, I'm going to make you turn back to my help, which is 52. Once he gets the edge, Skip, that's 3rd and 16. He just outran. That's 3rd and 16 that he went and got with his legs.
This is a huge play.
And then, like I said,
that play actually just broke the game open.
Yes, he was 24 or 32.
Yep.
They ran the ball 40 times. You said that's a key to success. Now, I don't expect, 12 carries for 120 yards for Edmonds. Skip, they put the NFC on notice. I'm not off the Rams. I'm not getting off them because I believe Matthew Stafford will bounce back and play better. He's not going to miss those throws that he missed yesterday. They're going to be right back in the mix. Watch them on Thursday night.
Really?
Yeah.
I was watching very closely yesterday for Coach Sean McVay, and I kept saying, where is he? I need to see. Well, remember what happened just the week before against the Buccaneers? Could we please see Coach McVay? He's running up the tunnel after. Oh, there he is. Oh, they're coming off the field. Slap those butts. Slap those butts because we're going to win the Super Bowl today. We got this. We're on the way to the Super Bowl because we're beating the defending champs. I'm going to run all the way up the tunnel.
You hate now.
I'm going to showboat up the tunnel to slap 5 with my man D. Jack. Way to go, Coach McVay. He's everywhere. He's laughing on the sideline with Matthew Stafford. I saw none of the above yesterday. I don't know what happened to him. Was he ill? Maybe he ate something that disagreed with him. I don't know. I didn't see any of that yesterday.
I don't know if you noticed this, but Arizona's on your schedule. Now, you keep on key.
I'm key.
Yeah, you key now. But Kyler got something for you. You remember what happened last Monday night they played you?
Last Friday on the show, who picked Arizona to pull off the upset in this game? I believe I did. I thought it was going to be high-scoring close. I did not see that coming because that was not a butt slap. That was a butt kick.
Yes.
And I will be the first to tell you that I did tell you so on this. The Rams got the Bucs at the perfect time because the Bucs were looking ahead, at least their quarterback. I think the whole team was looking ahead to Foxborough last night. And what did I tell you on Friday? That Arizona got the Rams at the perfect time because the Rams had just played their Super Bowl thanks to Coach McVay the week before.
Okay.
He let them get way too high, and they couldn't quite get back up for an undefeated division rival coming to their place. We got this. No, you don't got this. Because that little man who I loved, Kyler Murray at OU, and I kept telling you going into the draft, he is a special, I'm going to give you little, he is a special little playmaker. He's just got guts. He's got a whip of an arm.
Yeah.
He's got a quick release. He seems to be getting more and more accurate because I think he's just getting more comfortable with everything.
He looking like throwing off his back foot like Aaron Rodgers. He throwing jump passes. It's kept like I'm saying now. If you got a quarterback and he's for real, and this little man that you Kyler Murray, he seems to be for real. You can go a long way. Now they haven't even really got D Hop involved this year.
Okay, but did you see the touchdown pass, if we could see it, to the other guy who used to be the guy in Cincinnati, to A.J. Green? And I told you he's going to help them because if you single him, this is going to happen every once in a while because he's just a big stud, strong receiver. And he's still got some left in the tank. I don't think of what he's used to be.
No.
But come on. If you can occasionally do that, it's a game breaker.
The Rams are not as good defensively this year as they were last year after they lost those two guys that went to Cleveland.
Okay, I agree because remember, for what it was worth, some of them were garbage yards, but Brady threw for 432. Nobody this year has thrown for 432 yards except Brady against the Rams. So they're not quite as suffocating as they used to be. You can throw on them, and even that Rondale Moore, the rookie that they got. Listen, he just got quicks, man. He gives him another weapon. So they're not D-Hop centric. He doesn't have to force it to D-Hop, and he didn't really utilize him that much yesterday. And listen, that little Chase Edmonds, look what he went for. He ran 12 times for 120 yards. He can get loose on you and hurt you. He can catch the ball.
They got a nice little mix, Skip. You mentioned A.J. Green. They got D-Hop. They got Rondale Moore. Christian Kirk, who did not have a big day.
He did
the
not.
tight end Williams.
Yeah. He's pretty good. Max Williams is pretty good. And listen,
former Raven.
James Conner, he was hammering away when they need to get some hard yards.
Yep.
I think Pittsburgh misses him because once upon a time, he was really all Pittsburgh had.
Right.
And now he's looking like he's running harder than Najee Harris, their rookie, is in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. But Stafford just missed some throws that he would have made. Skip, you hit that throw because what broke the game open last week is that he hit the deep throw over the top to D-Jack. Well, he had an opportunity early to really to send a message like, okay, yep, here we go again.
Love that deep rollout, where you stop and throw it
back across the field. Yes, and he has the kind of arm, but he's going to have to understand, and Sean McVay's going to have to tell him, where you would normally take your full depth, 7 steps up there and hitch, you can't do that with D-Jack. Let's make it 5 with no hitch and let it go. Because he's free release, Skip.
Yep.
He's digging. So he don't have to get off any press release. He's just digging from the word jump.
Yep.
He's going to take it up, pretend like he's going to run out, and he's going to take it all the way across the field.
Listen, every time I looked up, somebody else on defense was making a play for them. They got a bunch of playmakers.
They got Simmons, and they got Chandler Jones. They got J.J. Watt.
Chandler Jones was quiet again, and you pointed out he's been quiet since he had his big 5-sack game. But when you least expect, he'll just rise up, right?
He still get after the quarterback. Collins hadn't been there, but they got Kendrick play. I mean, they got guys that can play. They got guys that can make plays. Buda Baker's still there.
Yep.
That number 7, they got the interception, Skip. He can play.
Pretty good.
Yeah, he got 2 picks against Jacksonville the previous week. He's playing really well.
His ribs banged up, but he came back.
Yeah. Skip, Vance Joseph did a great job of scheming.
You know Vance Joseph.
I do. They played well. Give them credit, Skip. I think they put the NFC on notice. They're not to be taken lightly.
Well, I'll tell you who they first put on notice was that division.
Oh, yeah.
I think all of a sudden everybody's looking sideways. Wait a second.
But
maybe it's Arizona.
That division going to be tough. Ooh. I mean, ain't no easy victories. I mean, you thought San Francisco going to go beat Seattle, and the next thing you know, Russell Wilson is doing Russell Wilson type things. I mean, how he spun out of a play. I still don't know how he spun out of a play and turned that play into a touchdown.
They look good. I agree. But right now, the team to beat, to me, is Arizona in that division.
But Skip, think about it. Minnesota lost. Had them on dead to right, Skip. 34, 35-yard field goal lineup, win the game. Had them dead to right.
At Arizona. Okay, but Kyler has thrust himself right in the middle of the MVP because he's now first in completion percentage. He rose above Dak. And he's second in yards thrown to Brady, and he's third in QBR. So I don't know.
Don't count the normal cast of characters out. You see that guy up in old Lambeau still doing, and you saw my homeboy. He's still capable. You saw what he's doing. If I'm not mistaken, he might be leading the NFL in touchdown passes. I think he got like 13 or something.
Against what's left of the Eagles?
Oh, that is what's left of the Eagles. Oh, y'all beat them up on Monday night, and so Pat Mahomes came and just cleaned them up on Sunday.
I believe that's what happened. Okay. And I think you know that yourself.
So, in other words, you said the Eagles aren't that good. So when I gave Dak and the Cowboys that 2 on Tuesday,
I thought Jalen Hurts played really well yesterday.
Man, they got that score on Monday night between Buffalo and Kansas City, Skip, that might be a 41-38 or 44-41 type ball game.
I'm starting to envision Dallas and Arizona in the NFC Championship game. I don't know. I
want 5 cases.
I'm starting to see it.
Y'all play the regular season. I want 5 cases right now. Arizona and Cowboys right now.
Remember, you heard it here first.
It doesn't worry you at all? That feels a little intimidating to me to be going up against Arizona right now. And
right now, 5 cases.
You love the guy. Take it, leave it. Yes? No, not right now. All right, we're going to wait on it. We got a lot more football to play. No mercy. Terry Bradshaw's $100,000 jackpot has been won. One lucky Fox Bet Super 6 player is taking home the cash after the Patriots' last-minute field goal hit the upright. Loudest noise I've heard in a while. If you missed out on the fun yesterday, don't worry. Next week's contest is already live, so scan the QR code for your shot to win Terry's money. It is completely free to play. Jeez, why not? Good luck. Hope you win some more money here. Well, not only did Tom Brady get the win in his rainy return to New England last night, but he also broke Drew Brees' all-time passing record early in the first half. TB12 finished with 269 passing yards, but no touchdowns or interceptions as the Bucs won 19-17. Meanwhile, Mac Jones had 275 passing yards with 2 TDs and 1 interception. Shannon, here's the question. Which quarterback had the better game, Brady or Mac Jones?
Mac outplayed Brady yesterday, Skip. Completed 19 straight passes. even though he was under much more duress than Tom. He got hit 12 times. Brady only got hit 3 times. Brady offensive line did a better job of protecting him and opening up holes for the run game, Skip. If you look at it, the Patriots had -1 yard on 8 carries, and the Bucs were well over 100 yards.
119.
119. So when you get that, and when you look at it, Skip, even without Gronk, Tampa's weapons offensively are better. It's just simple as that. They're just better. If you look at defense, even though they were out a lot, they still don't have 2 backers that's better than Levante David and Devin White. They don't have a defensive line. They don't have a player right now. Judon is better than Shaq Barrett is right now. But then you go Ndamukong Suh, you go Golston, you go Vita Vea.
Run stuffers.
Yeah, and that's what that's all they want to do, Skip. And they get JPP back. They can make you one-dimensional knowing that you can't run the football. But I thought Mac outplayed Brady last night. Brady had his lowest completion percentage since he's been in Tampa. His 21 incompletions, second most since joining the Bucs. And Skip, you mentioned that the throw the AB dropped. But there are a lot of throws that Brady was off last night. He missed some throws that were a little high, had AB for a first down, overshot him. He was off slightly. Maybe it was the motion. Maybe it was the inclement weather. Whatever the case may be, we've seen Brady play a lot cleaner games than what he played last night. But given that this was Mac Jones' first foray into big-time football, meaningful football, Sunday night, Tom Brady's coming back. Everybody's been talking about once the schedule came out, everybody talked about this game. They talked about, Tampa and Dallas, they opened the season. No. Let's get to week 4. Because not only is Tom Brady going back, Skip, he's going to break Drew Brees' record. And so Mac Jones had to deal with all that. I thought Mac played him. But in Tom's case, then more times than not, Skip, Tom's kicker came up bigger than Mac Jones' kicker. And sometimes that's what it comes down to. You can play great, but if you get your guy in field goal range and he misses it and the other guy had a little worse ball game than you did and his guy made it, well, that's what it looked like. But player to player, head to head, he outplayed Brady.
I will give you this. Mac Jones played very well last night, but Brady played a little better.
How?
Well, let's look at QBR to start with.
Okay.
Brady had 55, Mac had 46, and I think that's about right, 55 to 46.
That was good.
First of all, let's do degree of difficulty. There was little to no pressure on Mac Jones last night. I told you Friday, nobody thinks he's going to do much of anything in this game.
Skip, they sacked him 4 times.
Okay, but my point is there was no pressure on him, like psychological pressure.
Okay.
Like he goes in and it's just gravy. Whatever he can do, people say, oh, that's really nice. The kid did some good things last night, and he did a lot of good things last night. But let's talk about degree of difficulty on the field. Because obviously Brady goes in without his number 1 security blanket. When in doubt, he throws it to Gronkowski. And you don't think the two of them would want to throw a party on Belichick? So that took a lot away from Tom Brady.
Okay. So
now let's look at what is Brady throwing against? What's his degree of difficulty to me on a scale of 1 to 10? Well, it's a 9 because Belichick's back 4, they're really good. They're extremely well coached. They're extremely smart. They're extremely quick. You could make a case I'm going to at least go to top 5 secondary in the league. Is that fair to say?
Okay, I'll give you that. I like J.C. Jackson, but I think McCourty has gotten old. He can't run. He doesn't have the range he once did. I've never been in love with Duggars, and the guy on the other side, Skip.
Duggars is a talent. He's just
he need to show it.
Jonathan Jones and J.C. Jackson. I
love J.C. Jackson.
Hey, you want to talk about man coverage? They can flat out lock down and cover man-to-man, and that's what they did much of the night last night. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, what's happening on the other side of the ball? Well, all of a sudden they come in without Jamel Dean, a starting corner. Murphy Bunting, a starting slot corner, is on IR for at least a while. And all of a sudden, Carlton Davis, their best corner, their only remaining corner, is gone. And Richard Sherman is playing 58 snaps last night. They had 59 total. I don't know how he missed 1 play, but he missed 1 defensive snap last night off his couch. I was dumbfounded because he said last Wednesday, I need a couple of weeks. No, how about a couple of practices? Because you better be ready because they don't have any choice. They're going to have to throw you in.
Well, Skip,
right?
the young guy was saying, well, Rich is doing a great job of coaching us up. They say, well, since you're doing such a job good of coaching, get your butt in the game.
Okay. So all of a sudden, I was all over poor D. Delaney last week at the Rams. I said, what are you doing in there from out of the Citadel? He played a little bit at the U, but he's undrafted out of the Citadel, and he's playing high snaps against the Rams. Well, what do you think's going to happen? He's going to get torched, and he did. Okay, so they say, no more of that. Let's go to Pierre Desir.
And he started getting torched.
He started getting torched because they're saying, we're going to go after that kid. He played at Lindenwood and at Washburn colleges, okay? And he's bounced around. This is his 8th time around with different teams. Okay, 8 times? Well, you've been all over the league. What are you doing on the field for the Tampa Bay defending champ Buccaneers in this game? So degree of difficulty is, for Mac Jones, about a 3 on a scale of 10 because they can't cover anybody. You're going to have people open all over the field.
But you make it seem like he's throwing to Tyreek and Travis Kelce.
Richard Sherman? Are you kidding me? What are you doing?
But Skip, think about all the money that Coach Belichick spent in the offseason. Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne, Jonnu Smith.
Okay, I like all of them.
Hunter Henry.
I mean, they all contributed last night.
Yeah, they contributed, but I don't think they've been living up to what they paid to get them.
Jacoby Myers is just, he's the best one.
Jacoby Myers has been the best, and he's a converted quarterback.
Okay, but I'm saying last night those were quote-unquote weapons for Mac Jones because there's nobody to cover any of them. Okay, and remember, Antoine Winfield gets knocked out of the fourth quarter. So at the end of the game, you don't even have the quarterback of the defense, Antoine Winfield Jr., is concussed. What are you doing? Who's left back there? It's not a fair fight anymore. So to me, what Brady did, let's look at the totality. Let's look at what Brady got, where he fell short, where he threw balls and they don't contribute to his totals, because I've got him for 3 drops in here and another ball that AB should have caught. Let's just see all the plays that got left on the field. Here we go. This one's to Mike Evans. And hey, listen, he might score on that play. That's a highly catchable ball for Mike Evans. He hits him right in the hands.
Yes.
This is a stud receiver. And then here we go to AB coming out of the half, and he hits him. That's a 50-yard gain, and they call illegal hands to the face over here. I don't get it.
Skip, come on,
oh,
Skip.
come on.
Yeah, come on, Skip.
That's not hands to the face.
What is that?
He didn't hold him. He didn't do anything. And
he got the man looking like an owl.
Here's Cameron Brate, who caught the Lombardi at the victory parade, and he couldn't catch that. And then here's the next one to AB, and he just loses it in the lights. That's a touchdown because the cornerback wasn't looking for the ball. And here's the best throw of the night. That has to be caught. Yeah. I just showed you 5 plays that could have upped his yardage by 150 yards. That they were. Listen, he made a lot of good throws. I got it. He was wild high in the first half. I have no doubt about it. And I predicted it on Friday because I thought he would be overamped, overhyped for the game. And he came out and he was just trying too hard. And I think what we talked about, Belichick sending the note last week, let's meet after the game, I think it distracted him. I think he was completely out of rhythm and off balance until the fourth quarter, and then he started looking like goat.
I thought Mac outplayed him, Skip. At some point in time, we got to give the other team credit. We got to give Mac Jones credit for playing. Now, I'm just saying he outplayed him. He lost the game, but Skip, and in basketball, it's a make or miss league. And when it comes down to kicker, it's a make or miss league. Either Brady's kickers for the better part of 20 plus years have been better than the opposing team kicker.
That's fine. I got it. But Mac Jones made a couple of throws in the fourth quarter. One Devin White almost picked off, but there was another one that was a pick six. If they had Carlton Davis still in the game or even Jamel Dean, it was a quick out to Aguilar.
Oh, yeah, the source that got this pick this one.
Check this out. But this is Pierre Desir. That's the 6. Listen, if you have your starting corner, remember what Jamel Dean did to Aaron Rodgers? Yeah. Okay, and Carlton Davis is their best corner. If you have a legit corner out there, he's gone.
I don't advise them to call that play.
He's gone. He's just gone. And not only did he not catch
he's
the ball,
on one hash and he's throwing it outside the numbers.
Okay. And listen, I got to tell you, as well as Mac Jones played, he's a tough kid and he's a smart kid. his arm is still subpar to
It
me.
is.
Because that's a floater, man. That showed no rocketry at all.
Trayvon
right?
Diggs, if he throw that one, Trayvon Diggs gonna hit his head on the goalpost.
But he'd be licking his lips while the ball was in the air.
Well, first of all, Skip, the thing is, I'm surprised that they played him because knowing that the ball is coming out quick, I thought they would play like 22 man. I was like, I'm jumping everything because I know you're not throwing the ball down the field. Everything is coming out quick, Skip. I don't think he attempted one pass over 20 yards.
It's not what they do. It's not what he can do.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. It was a lot of dinking. It was a lot of dunking.
Yes.
And it was a lot of completions because he completed 31 balls. But if you look at his 31 balls, what did Brady complete? It was like 22. But look, he only threw for, 6 more yards?
Right.
He completed 9 more passes for a grand total of 6 more yards than Brady. Think about that. That's some classic dinking and dunking.
Well, Skip, your guy, while you bull jobbing, your guy threw 43 attempts. It wasn't like your guy was chunking it out the field either.
Oh, he was chunking it.
No, it wasn't.
I just showed you chunks that weren't caught.
And completed.
Okay, but he threw the one to AB. Was that not a sweet throw?
Skip, the man was hands to the face.
It was not hands.
I thought the man was. I thought it was WWE. He had the man in the headlock.
Ticky tack.
Had the man in the headlock.
Oh, stop! He did not.
You did, Skip. You saw that.
I did not see
look,
that.
Skip, the officiating yesterday has been terrible.
Yep.
Because you know that guy, Dallas, your guy fumbled that ball.
He fumbled. I give you that. Because it was not progress stop. It was
as soon as he hit him, the ball was loose.
Okay.
And New England got away with him. Skip, the guy even put his head down. He know he moved. He knew Skip, he dropped his head. He like, damn, they got me. Because they had just got a 5-yard penalty to play before.
Oh, he false started at the end, and they didn't call it.
He dropped, Skip, he did it so bad.
And the Bucs are saying, look.
He dropped his head like, damn, Coach Belichick, go kill me.
He's going to kill it. I know it.
And then let it go.
Okay, so you admit you got a lot of breaks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But he still outplayed him.
No, Tom got him.
All right, Paul, what do you say? Who played better last night?
Good.
Mac Jones or Tom Brady?
How much do you hate Brady?
They don't hate.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Brady won, but Mac outplayed him.
Keep this going all day.
No mercy.
Dak Prescott threw 4 touchdowns yesterday, and Dallas maintained its perch atop the NFC East by beating the NFL's best defense with the Carolina Panthers. But even before the game, Fox NFL Sunday analyst Jimmy Johnson was pretty confident about his former team's chances moving forward. Take a listen.
They're going to run away with the NFC East. That's not a question, but that's not the goal. I think because they're playing so many players, they'll be strong and fresh going into the playoffs.
Love Jimmy. Shannon, are you ready to concede the East to the Cowboys? And are you ready to admit they are a threat to win the NFC?
No.
A real threat?
No. Big N. Long O. No. It's 4 games. It's 4 games into a 17-game season. Anything can happen. Yes, the Cowboys, but I'm trying to think what team wouldn't be running away with the NFC East? Maybe the Jets? Maybe the Texans? You make it seem like this is the NFC West or the AFC West.
So you're conceding they're going to run away with
No, they're not.
Oh, because it was terrible.
No, this is a terrible division, but a lot of things can happen. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, Skip, and trip on your way to the market, because there goes all your profit. So I'm just telling you, you owe that kid and laughing and everything, but your day gonna come sooner or later, because anything can happen, Skip. Everybody's just a bad injury, a tweak here or there, from all of a sudden leveling the playing fields. Yes. Giants got a much-needed win yesterday. Washington got a much-needed win yesterday. The Eagles, but Skip, they're 2. What are the Cowboys? They're 3-1 now. I mean, you beat the Eagles.
They lost to the GOAT at the GOAT. That's it.
And hold on, Skip. We saw Mac Jones complete 19 passes in a row. We've seen teams light up that second.
They're decimated. They weren't decimated on opening night.
Okay.
They had everybody.
Okay, what about the Rams?
What about them?
How did Matthew Stafford do against that defense? What about Matty Ice? With those 2 interceptions, he threw a party against that defense. So that's not saying anything that Dak Prescott threw for 303 against that 403 against that secondary. All I'm saying is no, they're not. I'm not conceding them running away with the division. There's still 13 games left. let's see how this thing play out. Yes, they beat the Eagles. The only team that I've been impressed that they beat thus far is the Chargers. And I think of all the teams that they beat, I think the Chargers have the best chance of making the playoffs. Do you believe the Eagles will make the playoffs? Do you believe Carolina, when it's all said and done, will make the playoffs? If not, then so what are we talking about?
I don't know. So
Thank you.
I remind you, we have a bet in which I gave you TF the field in the least, right?
Okay.
You have all three of those teams.
Yeah.
Do you like your chances?
I like my chances.
Do you?
All I'm saying is, you guys are not running away with the division.
Okay.
I'm put it like this. I'm not buying out of the bet.
No?
No.
How many cases is it? Remind me.
I don't know, 5, 6, 7. I don't care what it is. I'm not buying out.
Call it 10.
Okay, you call it 10. I'm not buying out.
No?
No.
You can buy out right now for...
No, I'm not doing it.
4. I'll give you a deal.
I don't want a deal. I don't want any deal.
No?
I'll check back with you in week. With 4 games in the season left, I'll check back with you.
Which bandwagon are you driving now in the East on Monday morning?
I got all 3 of them. I don't got to drive any. So if one of them break down side the road next Sunday, I'll hop on the other one if it wins.
Okay, so I love what Coach Jimmy said on the pregame show yesterday. I believe what he said, and I thought it was very astute what he said, because he's looking past the East into the future, because this team has a chance to be a contender in the NFC.
Yeah.
Because this team is playing a whole bunch of players. What do I keep reminding you?
I just want you to know that Jimmy wasn't looking into a crystal ball. That's a snow globe.
Okay.
And when it all settles, you won't be doing anything come playoff time, okay?
When Jimmy coached the Cowboys, it was no snow job that he put on anybody. He just went out and just won and won and won some more.
So hold on. You feeling you sounded very Jerry Jones-esque. Are you saying this team is like those 90s Super Bowl teams? Is that what you're doing?
I posted a picture yesterday after the Cowboy game in which I was wearing my Roger Staubach throwback jersey, my number 12 Cowboy jersey with the stars on the shoulder pads.
Yeah.
And I did so because I was starting to remember the great old days, all the way back to the Staubach Landry days.
Were the 71 Cowboys?
Sure. No, we can go all the way back wherever you want to go in that
the
era.
The 60s, they were not good.
Okay, well, the 70s Cowboys,
yeah.
and then we had the 90s Cowboys.
Hold on, why you keep skipping decades? I mean, hold on. The Cowboys been in existence since 1960. You skip right over the 60s.
Well,
you jump right over the 80s. And you jump right over the 2000s.
We had Danny White at quarterback.
You jump right over the 2010s.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden you want to pick up in 2020.
Okay, so the point is, I keep reminding you, DeMarcus Lawrence is going to come back from a broken foot, right?
He's no longer their best player.
Okay, Keanu Neal is coming off COVID issues, so he's going to be back in the lineup at some point. Lyle Collins, I don't even know if he can win his job back now, because you made the point earlier, Terrence Steele is playing out of his mind.
He is.
But how about a backup of Lyle Collins, who at times in his career has certainly been a Pro Bowl right tackle, right? Okay, so I got that. And Michael Gallup's going to come back to bolster my receiver core, because we haven't had him for a while, and I assume he's going to be back in a couple of weeks. And then the kid Kelvin Joseph, our second-round pick at corner, he can only give you more depth at corner. He hasn't been playing. So we're loaded with people who are all coming back. You understand that?
I understand that.
So there was a moment yesterday when I thought we were going to mathematically clinch the NFC East.
Oh, man.
Well, I did. And then I was very happy for the Giants, and I was very happy for the Washington football team, because they came back on the road. You can argue against inferior talent, but the Giants especially impressed me, because they're at New Orleans. It's Jameis, and I know Jameis has been up and he's been down and he's been right and he's been left.
Yeah, he didn't play bad yesterday.
He did not play poorly, and the Giants have firepower, because Daniel Jones played like good Daniel. And Saquon had a couple of flashes where you said, aha, he's back.
Right.
They found themselves down at the Superdome yesterday, and they are on their way next Sunday to Dallas. And I think it'll be a hard game. It'll be a division battle. But I'm glad that they announced their presence, because now my team will not look past them and take them lightly. We will take it up another notch next Sunday.
Saquon gonna get loose.
Okay? And your little man, Taylor Heineke, he pulled a rabbit out of his hat again at Atlanta, and they were down in the fourth quarter, 30-22. The Giants were down 11. They were down 21-10 and came back. But again, Washington down 30-22.
Well, Washington deserved to win. After they called that bull jive call on Chase Young,
they
wasn't no roughing no.
Okay, so which of those teams do you like? You used to hate the Giants. You had no use for Joe Judge and company, right?
I got all three of them. I ain't got
You got all three of them?
It's like I got 3 vacation homes. I mean, one in Saint-Tropez, one in the Maldives, one in the Malfi. I mean, so whichever one I feel like going to, I love them all. What's your favorite vacation spot? I love them all.
You just compared Philadelphia, Washington, and the Giants to vacation spots?
Yep.
Like paradises? Do they look like paradise?
No, they're
to
not.
you?
But I'm saying I have vacation homes in all those spots, and I can't choose a favorite one.
Really?
It's always the way I feel at the present time.
Well, I'm feeling really good about my Dallas Cowboys, and I'm feeling really good that Troy Aikman went all the way to special last week.
They're not.
And I'm feeling really good that the great Drew Pearson went all the way to Dak is now a top 3 quarterback.
Dak ain't no top 3.
And I'm feeling really good that Coach Jimmy went all the way to they're looking down the road at making a playoff run because they're playing so many players that they're going to be fresh when the playoffs start. Love it. And it's going to be the death of you in your seat over there. You're going to be haunted the rest of this year.
Okay, so since you like that, so you would take Dak Prescott over Kyler Murray, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady. So which one of those guys? I just named 4 quarterbacks. I didn't even put Allen. I didn't put Josh Allen, and I didn't put Lamar Jackson. So which one of those guys are you taking Dak Prescott? If you taking kicking out to put Dak Prescott in the top 3?
We are now. You got a cold?
Oh, my bad. Yeah, a little chilly. I got my fan going. A little chilly over here.
Yeah, okay. All I know is my rushing attack is now 2nd in the NFL, so I don't even have to deal with that debate anymore.
Okay,
I don't even have to worry about that because when Dak is called upon, Dak makes a throw to Amari that you said only a few other humans could make, right?
Yeah.
The 35-yard.
I don't know if you watched yesterday, but I saw Lamar Jackson make some throws I hadn't seen him make before.
Okay, that was against what's left of your Denver Broncos offense.
Yeah, I ain't talking about the offense,
right?
the defense.
Lock,
but that was the defense.
No lock.
I got no trust in him.
Okay.
And we know Teddy can't stay healthy for the entire season.
You've told me again and again that Lamar he can't live up throwing the football.
But no, all I say is he just need to improve incrementally. That's it. I'm not saying he ever has to be Mahomes because his legs are so dynamic. That's always going to be the fear factor for people. But did you see him throw the ball, Skip?
I
300
did.
yards?
Zings. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
It looked good. But my Cowboys look better.
No, they
No mercy.
Well, New England had a chance to take the lead with less than a minute to go before falling to the Bucs last night, and a lot of people were impressed with how Belichick had his team ready to play the defending Super Bowl champs. The Boston Globe even published an article with a headline, quote, "Even in a loss for the Patriots, Bill Belichick got the better of the matchup with Tom Brady." Shannon, do you agree with that statement?
I do not. Skip, sports doesn't work like that. Sports is a bottom line business. You could strike out 20 batters. Skip, if you give up the game-winning hit, you did not win that matchup. I understand Coach Belichick's defense did a great job. Tom Brady did not play as well. It's kind of like, Skip, most of us went to school, went to college, and man, that test was hard. I might have didn't get the grade that I wanted, but I passed it. Tom Brady did not get the grade that he wanted. He wanted to go in there and throw for 3 or 4 touchdowns, 400 yards. But he passed the test because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won.
And trust me, he is happy
Yes.
today.
Yeah. If Coach Belichick's a defensive coordinator, he can say, you know what, I held a guy to 19. Hey, maybe we got to hold him to 15. But as a head coach, you oversee everything. Wins and losses. That doesn't go on the defensive coordinator resume. Defensive coordinators don't have wins and losses. I've never seen a defensive coordinator or an offensive coordinator stat. Well, how many wins or how many losses, how many ties? That's on Coach Belichick's resume. So at the end of the day, although he gave Brady a very difficult test,
he did.
Brady did not get the grade that he wanted, but Brady got a passing grade, which means he won the game. End of story. We got to get away from this moral victory stuff. Oh, Coach Belichick did a number. No, he didn't. The only number that matters is he in the right or the left column. That's all I needed. W or L. Where's the Patriots today? They're in the L column. So Brady passed the test. Brady won. No, Coach Belichick did not.
I believe that Patriot fans need a moral victory because they're 1-3. They went 7-9 last year without Brady, and so they're now 8-12 without Tom Brady.
Right.
And they need to cling to something. And I will give Belichick this: he had a very good plan last night, and it worked for much of the night. where I'm not going to let Bill Belichick off the hook if he is the quote-unquote GOAT coach, is when we got down to 3rd and 3 at the 37.
Right.
And if we can see what happened on the first play, 3rd and 3 at the 37, Mac Jones has your man Jacoby Myers just wide open.
Yeah.
I mean, on a shallow,
he's gonna go for
shallow
a
cross.
Look at this. No,
Look at him jump up and down. Okay, Levante David jumps and gets his fingertips on the football, or we're going to have a very different story because I think they're about to win the game.
Because now, Skip, you get to bleed the clock some more.
Okay, you would bleed the clock because it was going to be 59 seconds. You could get it down, who knows, to 20 seconds.
Easy, because they got to burn their timeouts. And so all you doing, Skip, is just put both hands on the football,
you
don't
turn
fumble.
a 56-yard field goal into, who knows, maybe a 46, maybe even a 40-yard field goal.
With no time, very little time left.
So now it comes down to 4th and 3 at the 37, and I was stunned, pleasantly stunned, because I was rooting for Brady, obviously.
Right.
I heaved a sigh of relief that Belichick said, kick it. Really? Remember, you're down 3 top cornerbacks in the secondary.
Correct.
You're down the leader of your secondary, Antoine Winfield Jr., who is concussed. So you're down 4 starting players already, and Mac Jones was having his way. He had just had a stretch in which he'd gone 19 straight completions.
Correct.
I was shocked that Bill Belichick folded his tent. I thought he lost his nerve. I thought he lost his faith in a Mac Jones who had played very well up to that point.
He did.
I thought he would just say, 4th and 3, we got this. We would have had that one if Levante hadn't gotten his fingertips on the pass.
Skip,
let's just do it again.
When have we ever heard someone says, well, he has this number, even though they lost the game? That's not what happened in the Super Bowl. Kurt Warner threw for 350 yards.
Okay.
They say Belichick did a great job because they won the game.
Okay, but you're not addressing the issue. Should he have gone for it on 4th and 3?
I believe he should have. Skip, 56-yard field goals is not a chip shot.
It's not a chip shot in the rain.
Yeah, that's not a chip shot.
No wind that I could feel.
And plus, you give Tom Brady 50 seconds with 2 timeouts.
It was dumb upon dumb.
Right. I was hoping
the field goal's too long for Nick Folk.
Right.
I think his career was 55, but it wasn't in the rain.
Right, in those kind of conditions.
And Chris
correct.
Collinsworth, I know you don't have the sound up, but he kept making a point that he's having issues with his left plant foot.
Right.
That he was a little shaky with it. Well, if you have to guts it up and try to swing a little harder, like hitting a big drive in golf, where you're going to reach back for it.
But I was hoping, Skip, the kid go in, because I wanted to see Brady with 50 seconds and 2 timeouts. Could he? Because here's the thing, Skip. It's not like Brady needs a touchdown. Skip, okay, in a situation like that, and now I will put in a situation where I'm going to make Brady need a touchdown to beat me.
Okay.
Skip, he needs a field goal. A field goal. So they're going to leave the ball in the end zone. They're not going to burn any time. So you'll get the ball at 25 with 2 timeouts and Tom Brady.
Okay. So the other half of the equation is just how great was Belichick's defense on Brady, because they shot themselves in the foot again and again, because I showed you the tape. I'm going to show it one more time. I got to show the tape of the throws that were not paid off, that Brady made great throws or very good throws on. If we start with the one to Mike Evans, this could be a touchdown, because he's 6'5", and he might get that ball in the end zone. He'd at least get it down to the 2. And it just hits him right. That's a great throw by Brady. That would have broken the game open early. This is the one to AB. You say it was
That's hands to the face.
Okay, but that was a great throw.
Yeah.
I don't think this is.
Skip, look at this. Come on, Skip.
No, come on.
What is that right there, Skip?
Okay, but he never grabbed his face mask.
You can't.
It's like a forearm to the face, and that's the Cameron Brate. That's 20 yards right there.
Right.
And then here's AB. Rainbow, AB, where's the ball? He doesn't see it. He lost it in the lights. And DB's not even looking. Jonathan Jones. And then he goes, okay, I'll throw you a rocket. Can you catch the rocket in the back of the end zone? That was his best throw of the night.
Yes.
What if all those throws click? Would Belichick still get the better of Tom Brady? I don't think so.
But here's the thing, Skip. But you can't look at that, because you got to factor in the turnovers on the other side. I think Patriots made enough mistakes to, even though he got the drops, so you even it out.
2-0 for Brady.
Right.
No turnovers for the Bucs.
And that was basically the difference in the ball game. But Skip, I don't do the consolation. I don't do the moral victories. When you play pro sports, and then Skip, if you a bunch of 5 and 6 year olds, you can say it's not how it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. But when you play for money, when this is your livelihood, man, I'm talking about no moral victories. No.
I mentioned to you earlier, The Buccaneers went 9 of 19 on third down, which is pretty great.
Yeah.
That's why they ran 74 plays
Right.
to only 54 for Belichick's
Right.
team.
That's a lot of third down
Belichick's
attempts.
team, it is. Belichick's team went 2 of 9 on third down. You got the better of him
Right.
strategically,
Right.
you know. Okay, so I don't get it.
Now,
I don't
maybe-
get the premise of
Now,
it.
maybe, Skip, you factor in a turnover, so you might have would have had another couple of third down situations
Okay.
in there. So maybe who knows? But Brady had 19 opportunities on third down. And even though he looks like, that's still a great percentage. What's
That is
45%?
amazing. 19 to 9 opportunities on third down.
And in the high 40, Skip, that's good, still a good percentage. You're going to be probably top 10 at a high 40% on third down. You're going to be
Would
top
be.
10. Now, you start getting to 50%, Skip, you're going to have a record. You're going to be 13-4, 14-3, something like that. You start getting 50%, and you have those kinds of third down conversions. But look, at the end of the day, Brady took a test extremely hard, but he passed. He didn't get an A. He didn't get a B. But Skip, at the end of the day, the objective is to pass. I mean, something pretty. You want a pretty loss or an ugly win?
Okay. Did Belichick take the ball and sort of the gun out of the hands of
No.
his kid quarterback? Yes, he did.
Oh, yeah, of course, Skip.
At the end.
At
Yes.
some point in time, you got to let the man throw the ball down the field, Skip.
Just let him go. Let him throw. Because I tweeted, I said the Patriots have got this. I thought they had him on the run. They're decimated in the secondary. I thought it'd be pretty easy to convert a 4th and 3.
But I do agree with you. I was saying to myself, oh, they're going to go for this.
Yeah.
They're going to go for it. I believe they would have had Coach Belichick had not had to burn that timeout when they had confusion
They did.
because they're about to have
That
12
was
men.
rare.
Right. They're about to
Yeah.
have 12 men on the field and get a penalty and give Tampa a first down.
If they convert 4th and 3, do they win the game?
Yes.
Almost certainly.
Yes, I believe they do. Now, I believe the kick's going to be it still might come down to the kicker, Skip. So it's still going to be on his foot.
And you know how much I hate kickers deciding games. But that's what happens.
So that's the question. Do you trust Nick Folk from 42? Do you trust him from
To be a
45?
folk hero?
Yeah.
I would trust him. I think he was like a couple of yards out of his range
Right.
in the rain.
50 yards, that's dead center.
Yep.
But it started drifting like that. So I believe inside of 56,
Yep.
we got to.
Agreed.
No mercy.
Skip's Cowboys have now won 3 straight games, and despite having a big money quarterback under center, they're getting a lot of their work done on the ground. Dallas has now risen to 2nd in the league in rushing, and Zeke's 143 rushing yards were the most he's had in a game since week 10 of 2018. So, Shannon, have the Cowboys become more of a running team than a passing team?
No, I think they become more of a take what the defense give them type of a team. Skip, when you spend that kind of money for a quarterback, you take a wide receiver in the first round, you spend money on Amari Cooper. I think you want to throw the football. But right now, I think a lot of teams are looking at Zeke. Skip says, well, he's not the same Zeke. So let's just play the coverage. We're going to play coverage. We're going to, take away Amari, take away CeeDee Lamb, and because we don't believe Zeke can do it. And Zeke like, oh, y'all gonna play that light box? I was like, y'all gonna, Kellen Moore's like, y'all gonna play us with a light box? So y'all gonna put 6 guys, 7 guys up there and think y'all gonna stop us? Okay. We put a hat on the hat and we'll see. And right now it's working out. And I think the thing is what a great team, Skip, is that you don't say, well, we are this or we are that. What does the defense get? Tampa said, you are not going to run the football on us, Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys had 60 yards rushing, 33 of them by Zeke, and 400 plus yards passing. So these other teams said, well, man, Dak threw for 400. I ain't trying to let him throw for 400. So let's just play off, and we're going to play coverage, and let's see if Zeke can do that. And Zeke is, at some point in time, Skip, you're going to have to drop that 8th guy down there and try to take this away. But I think right now the Cowboys are doing a great job of saying whatever the defense is going to do, okay, we're running. Y'all want to drop that 8th guy there? Y'all know we got CeeDee and Amari out there, right? If you don't know, but I think the defenses are saying, I don't believe Zeke. That's still that same Zeke that he gonna eat. So at some point in time, Skip, I mean, if they keep running like this here, they'll have to drop that 8th guy down in the box and see if Dak can go back to throwing it.
So, Shannon Sharpe,
Yes.
in honor of you, this morning I kept humming a song that I liked back in the 60s from a group called Buffalo Springfield, and the opening lines are, something's happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear.
Very clear.
And it's starting to become clearer and clearer, very slowly but surely and quietly. My Cowboys have turned back into a running football team. All I heard from the great Shannon Sharpe before the year started, they're paying $75 million to the quarterback. They're going to throw. Jerry's going to send down an edict from on high. We will throw it 50 times a game because that's who we are, and that's what sells tickets.
Yep.
So far, so great, because guess what? They are finding the magic formula. After opening night, in which they played the run defense that is the one impenetrable run defense in the league. You can't, the Patriots had -1 yards rushing. So Dak Prescott on opening night, they threw it 58 times, ran it 18 times. But what did Kellen Moore defend himself by saying after the game? I actually called 28 runs. Dak checked out of 10 runs. Well, you can't probably blame him because of Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh and Devin White, Levante David. It's just a gigantic, great wall of China. You know, you can't get through it. You know, it's the Berlin Wall. You can't get through it. You're not going to get past it. So the Cowboys said, we just can't do that. Zeke couldn't do it. Zeke, they tried the option play on 3rd and 1 that could have really turned the tide in the game. He's not that guy anymore. He can't beat you to the pylon on a toss play on 3rd and 1 down at the, what was it, like at the 4-yard line. Okay, so what did I notice this morning very quietly is that the Cowboys have risen up the ranks of the team rushing all the way to second. They're second only to the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland's averaging 177 yards rushing a game because we know they got two just powerhouse backs, right? I mean, they're just powerhouses. Dallas is suddenly 166 yards rushing, edging just past Baltimore and just past Tennessee. Well, who would have thought that? Guess what? Dallas is averaging 5.4 yards per rush, which is better than any of those top 4 teams. Who would have thunk it? It's the Dallas Cowboys. They're a pass-happy aerial circus, right? They have found the magic formula. What's my favorite stat? I'm going to keep beating you over the head with it. With Dak Prescott at quarterback, they are now 27-0 when they run it more than they throw it. You still have to throw it because it's a passing league, but you can balance it up. You can make people sweat because you're just going to keep pounding away because you got thunder and you got lightning. And don't tell me that it wasn't just a breakthrough to discover that Tony Pollard can actually play in the lineup with Zeke. You can put them both in the game, and you can thunder and lightning people to death.
But Skip, you got to take something away, though. You can't let a team, because normally teams go into a game says, we're going to shut down the run. We want to make you one-dimensional. But you can't give them everything.
What have I told you about the 90s Cowboys? Norv Turner used to tell me, they all know what we're going to do. It's as simple an offense as there is in the league. You know, people said, Norv kept telling me, they say I'm a genius. We got like 5 plays that we called because it was like Emmett right or Emmett left. You know, you just they wouldn't even call a hole for Emmett because nobody could stop the offensive line with little 22 darting behind.
But you remember when the 49ers was about to sell out, he hit Alvin Harper with that quick slant.
He did.
And went to the house.
It did. That broke the game open. That was in the fourth quarter. That was their breakthrough game in the 92 season.
And so that's what you have to have, Skip. But the Panthers, they didn't take away anything. They're like, Zeke, you want to run? You want to get 6 yards of carry? Hey, Pollard, you want 7 yards of carry? Hey, Dak, won't you get this scramble for 25? Get that on. Oh, yeah, by the way, Dak, we're going to let you throw for 4 touchdowns. You got to take something away, Skip. You going to give them everything?
This guy's doing this more and more. He is sleek Zeke. He's obviously toned up. He's much fitter. I think he's got himself a nutritionist and a cook, and he's at least starting to take some care of himself. I kept saying last year, he's got a double chin. He's waving out of games.
And Skip, the thing that concerned me about Zeke bouncing back, I said, well, Skip, you were telling me that he's going to have to split carries with Tony Pollard. They get paid Dak all this money, so they're going to want to throw the football. How many opportunities? He's maximizing. If I'm not mistaken, the 20 carries is the most carries he's had in the game this season. So he's maximizing these opportunities with very few carries.
He 7.2 a rush yesterday. That'll work, right?
Oh, yeah. That's college numbers. You don't normally see that in the NFL.
Okay, and if we could see one more time the break breakaway run. I put quotes around breakaway because
if I could have got 15 on the prepared hip.
Okay.
You see that hole?
Okay, but what I love about Zeke is he will hit the hole as hard as anybody in the game. Yeah. He can't do a whole lot with it after he hits it because he doesn't have the burst he used to have. If that's Tony Pollard, it's 6.
Yeah.
But I'll take it from 21 because it just keeps you so honest because the body lean on 21 is still the best in football to me. He will hit the hole. He will run through your brick wall if you give him a chance. He will wear out a defense between the tackles like nobody can. And then how about the play that they called that closed it out, the little slick pitch to, where they did the toss to Zeke, who did the option play to Pollard?
Right.
Now, that was a great call by Kellen, but that's thunder and lightning.
Right.
And you have so many more options because, to your point, they're starting to feel like the Aikman Cowboys to me because they run to throw. What have you seen for the last 3 games? They're much more run heavy than pass heavy.
Yeah, we're going to have to see. I'm going to have to need to see a little bit more. Now, I'm going to disregard a lot of this, what I saw yesterday, because I think a lot of Sam Darnold's calories were empty calories. He got those a lot at the end of the ball game.
With Trevon Diggs with a back issue on the side.
So I'm going to see how well this, because we know one thing. That 90s Cowboys defense, now it didn't have a catch. It wasn't, catchy nickname. No. It wasn't Doomsday or 2000 really Ravens or 02 Bucs, but they could play.
They had Charles Haley. They had Darren Woodson, who we had on the show on Friday.
They were young and they would run to the football.
Hey, they just would. But the spirit of this defense, the young athleticism on this defense is starting to, dare I say, remind me of that 90s defense, because I was there in 91 when I you could see it coming. Right. And then once they added Charles Haley, here we go.
Yeah. You got it.
Lights out.
The question is, Skip, do you have that one dominant guy that you can say, we need a play? It's 3rd down. We need you to get us off the field. Because Charles Haley was that guy. He was that one guy. In most teams, Skip, you have that guy that says, we need you to go make a play. Go get home.
It's Micah Parsons, but he's still young.
Right.
He hasn't risen into that role yet where he can embrace it.
Okay.
But he's got potential.
Definitely got potential.
He is just starting.
No mercy.
Okay, Skip has said that Trey Lance will be the best quarterback out of this rookie class, and now the signal caller may get a chance to prove it. Lance replaced an injured Jimmy Garoppolo at halftime of the 49ers' loss to the Seahawks yesterday, throwing 2 touchdown passes and rushing for 41 yards. Shannon, I start with you. From what you've seen so far, which rookie QB will have the best career?
Skip, me personally, I believe every one of these rookie quarterbacks would have benefited by having an opportunity to sit on the bench for at least a year and learn. Now, 2 guys had mechanisms put in place, Andy Dalton and Trey Lance, that this was going to be possible. Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson, they removed those mechanisms and said, you're going to be starters from day one.
Yep.
But the mechanisms in Chicago, the mechanism in the 49ers got injured. So now these young guys.
The best mechanism was Jimmy G. Who had been very successful.
Who had been very successful. Had taken the team to a Super Bowl. It was playing pretty well this year, Skip. So now he's thrust into the light. I'm going to say, look, I thought Trey Lance, I thought Mac Jones was best ready to play right now. But I'm going to trust Kyle Shanahan and his ability to call plays and put his quarterback in the best possible situation. I'm going to say Trey Lance, because they're going to get these running backs back. They're going to be able to run the football. Now, I think what Kyle is going to do is that he'll do a lot more boots, a lot more diagram quarterback runs, because he has a quarterback that has the athleticism to do those and to make those kind of plays, make those kind of throws off that kind of action. So for me, I'm going to say Trey Lance, because I trust Kyle Shanahan in his calling of plays. I saw what he did with C.J. Beathard. I saw what he did with Nick Mullins. I saw what he did with some lesser-tier quarterbacks and get them to produce 300-yard passing games. And they're not nearly as talented as Trey Lance is. So I'm going to say Trey Lance, because I just don't know the pieces around Jimmy G, the pieces around Trevor Lawrence, and although Zach Wilson made some throws yesterday, Skip,
did.
You can see why
they
fell in love with him. Because he made throws I haven't seen a whole lot of rookie quarterbacks make in a very, very long time.
Week 4 was very good for these high-pick rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Even Thursday night. Trevor Lawrence had his moments.
Yes.
I can see it. But yesterday I saw Zach Wilson. He was great late against the Titans.
He was.
And Justin Fields is a playmaker,
Yeah.
and he made enough plays, and he lifted the whole mood and tone and spirit of that team. So I'm happy for him. I'm all about Trey Lance. And in his brief stints, he has looked the least comfortable because he's played the least amount of football.
Right.
Remember, they played one game in COVID last year. One game.
Right.
And the year before, he was sensational, but it was for North Dakota State.
Right.
I'm just eye testing saying, I'll take that guy.
Right.
6'4", 225, and he can flat out move. I was just watching the video we were showing. He can just move. It's just like, he can shimmy shake you.
Yeah.
He can run over you. He can run around you. He's got extreme mobility, and he has got a bazooka arm. And he did have a 76-yarder to Debo, and it was complete busted coverage.
Right.
And so Debo just sat down and just said, I'm wide open, and he just threw it to him. So there was no leading, no rainbow to it. He just threw it to him. But the point, look at that run. Whew, here's the pass to Debo. But he just said, oh, you're over there. So, again, I'm not giving that high marks, but he did it. And
well, he didn't overthrow him because most of you have a guy wide open, you overshoot him.
Look at the movement here. Lord have mercy. The young man can move. He's got high football IQ. He has extreme work ethic. And I do agree, and I think you are seeing the light. If you give that to Kyle Shanahan, all of a sudden the run game becomes indefensible because if he's part of it, because he went 7 times for 41 yards, and he threw some shaky balls, but he also threw some really good balls. 9 out of 8.
Skip, it's kind of like Lamar.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson at the head of the running game. Yeah, we talk about all these running backs, but it all starts and stops with Lamar Jackson.
It does because he's so difficult to defend.
Now, I'm not saying this guy's going to be Lamar Jackson, but I'm saying he has an element that you really can't account for. So now he's going to be able to run the football. Kyle is going to be able to do some things that he can't. Jimmy G is athletic, but not like this kid, Skip. You can run, you can have the design runs that get him out on the edge and let him do some damage with those legs. Now, Skip, for me, I agree with you. Yesterday they played well, but now there is no turning back. Andy Dalton, there is no turning back.
I mean, you could, but you shouldn't.
No, I know what Andy Dalton is.
Okay, you'll lose your locker room if you go back.
Trey Lance.
Yep.
You was like, okay, when we're going to stay with Jimmy G. Okay, now Jimmy G is going to be out for a while unless Trey Lance get injured because you know what Jimmy G is. Now let's see what we have in Trey Lance because this is our future. You gave up those 2 draft picks.
I mean, you gave everything. You gave up your next
future.
3 years for Trey Lance.
So I got to see what I got, Skip.
And you went up there and everybody thought it was for Mac.
Right.
And it was for Trey.
Right.
And I still believe that was the right move.
Right.
Mac is exactly what you saw last night. He can do that. But when it comes to arm strength and escapability, not in the same league, not in the same ballpark.
Skip, it's going to be tough when you have that kind of arm. The lack of arm strength playing in those kind of conditions that you normally see in Foxborough. And Skip, it's just the early October. We haven't got the late. We haven't got the November. We haven't got the December. Haven't got the January.
Yep.
When the wind is swirling and you got snow, things that made Tom Brady great playing in those elements. Man, it's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough, but I cannot wait to see what Kyle Shanahan starts to do with Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Because you're going to see Kyle come back out of his shell some, and you're going to see his genius at work.
Yep.
No mercy.
Derek Carr is looking to keep his MVP level of play going as the undefeated Raiders visit the Chargers in Hollywood tonight. However, if Justin Herbert gets the victory, there'd be a 3-way tie atop the AFC West with Vegas, LA, and Denver. So, Shannon, who you got? Who wins tonight?
Skip, I think, look, this is a rivalry game. I think it's going to be close. I think there's going to be some points scored on both sides of the football, but I'm going to take the Chargers at home. Broncos, we got to get some quarterback because you look at the young quarterbacks in this division, they're going to be here for a while. My homeboy, Herbert, and Derek Carr aren't going anywhere, so we need to catch up. I'm going to take the Chargers at home, although I do believe Derek Carr is playing at an MVP level. He's played well. But Justin Herbert, man, this dude has been out of his mind. I'm taking the Chargers.
Out of his mind, and my Cowboys beat him at home.
Man, you got to look. No, you skip.
Thank you. I am going to be true blue to Gru. I love John Gruden. I believe in John Gruden. You don't. And I say he is a classic front runner in a good way because he needs some front to run with. Once he gets that Chucky snarl going, it can be infectious for the whole team. It can be contagious. And I think this team is on a magic carpet ride.
2 cases tonight?
2 cases?
Put a case on it. Put a case on it.
One case, but I get...
No, you don't get nothing. You get whatever the Raiders scored, that's what you get.
I get the points. You got a break. It just got bet down to 3. So I'll take 3 for a case.
If you score 33, that's what you get. If you score 35, that's what you get.
Well, I thought you had the courage of your convictions.
I got to convert. Hold on. You believe in Chucky. You believe in Gruden. You true Gruden.
Yep. And I believe Derek Carr is going to make another MVP statement tonight, but I need the 3. It's at Chargers. It's in SoFi Stadium.
Oh, that ain't nice. I'm about to check it out. I need to check it out.
Okay. You give me 3 for a case.
No, we got a case on this thing. Justin Herbert outdoes Derek Carr.
Well, you're at home. You got to give me a break.
The Rams were just at home, so clearly that didn't work.
True.
They were just at home and they lost. For a case, I mean, the Raiders are playing well.
I do take pity on you because I took 4 more off you yesterday. So I'll give you 1 back. I'll take the Raiders with no points just because I love you.
Come on, Herbert. Come on, don't let me down. Don't let me down, Herbert.
I agree. I'm going with Shannon. I think the Chargers. Undisputed. Great stuff today. We're back at the same time. The Herd is done.